Hello, everyone. I am just setting up the Instagram to go live. Oh, hey, Stacy. You're already here before me. Look at that. So I am really excited. Let me know that my mic is working because, again, it's a new system. I get kind of nervous. Um, and I'm really excited to do this tonight. I'm totally in the mood for it. Do, do, do. Sometimes I like picking um, a filter on Instagram, and sometimes it just gets to be too much. There we go. Okay, welcome. You know what? I've been online for a bit, but my eyes are doing okay. I may end up switching to putting my glasses on, but it's nice to just fully connect glasses free. So welcome Instagram, welcome YouTube. And yeah, tonight, or maybe it's not night for you, but it's evening for me. I thought I would come on here for some love readings, relationship, if you wish, but also heart healing, because a lot of our movement towards love or towards deeper connection, romantically or otherwise, in our lives has a lot to do with our own personal heart and how we're healing through our experiences that we've had in our lives. So not sure how to open this up. Sometimes I do a little collective energy read. I'll be back on Sunday to do that. But yeah, I thought maybe tonight would be a bit more feeling based and some channeled messages as well. So I have my Whispers of Love deck out here, which people do really enjoy. I also have the Romance Angels deck, which is fun. I have some like physical, quote unquote, let's not get banned on YouTube, but I've got some physical intimacy cards and some other things like that. Which are somewhat helpful. They're tarot, though, so it is a bit of a different read. And something I like to do also, sometimes when I read for clients, especially with romances where they're struggling with understanding someone or they're looking at who might come into their lives, I sometimes read from this Caroline Myss Archetype card deck. So that's very fun. I've also, other things we could do. I've got past life, goddess guidance. We could just talk about manifesting heart healing. But I think I might do just some intuitive, personal oracle reads as well. So ask me if you would like a free love or empath or oracle reading for yourself. And you can just suggest, I do want to make this focused on heart healing. And so if we drift off from that, I won't be offended. But if we could talk about what's on your heart, healing your heart, maybe patterns that you might have in relationship or challenges that you might have, or maybe you're just wanting to know who the next person that is going to come into your life might be. Yeah, so psychic oracle, shamanic oracle at your service. Let me know. Stacy on YouTube says, I need to heal my heart. And so curious what you're feeling or how you notice that you need healing in your heart and what your question might be. I kind of wish YouTube had filters that could make me all pink and rosy like, because I like this. It's very fitting for doing these heart healing readings. So yeah, I'm going to pull an overall, just an opening card while Stacy writes her comment, and while anyone else, Patty or Anthony, you can think of what you might ask or what you might want to know from me, or about your future, or about healing your heart. And if it's just like, hey, can you read me? Can you just give me a reading? I'm okay with that too. I'll just sort of flex with this today. So, Stacy, if you can't come up with a question, just let me know. Okay, good. We've got something. So just going to pull a collective reading. And, if you're listening to this, you can receive any of the messages that come through. They could be for you as well. So whatever I say, just take what resonates. If it doesn't match you, don't take it for yourself. Okay. I do love doing these love readings. I'm actually, yeah, yeah. Okay. We have Speak the Language of Love. So it says, loving words have the power to change lives, including your own. And I think this is really important. It was a message that was coming through to me earlier this week that was about being soft and actually compassionate to myself. Instead of saying that I am being, easy on myself, or, I'm trying not to be too hard on myself or any of those things, actually actively being soft with myself and actively being compassionate with myself. So spending some energy, which is what I did. I spent some energy and some time with really thinking about, what I have gone through in my life. What has my heart experienced in this life? Oh my goodness. It has been through so much. And to actually speak kind words that, maybe I wish would have been said to me along the ways, or what I am currently going through now, and thinking, okay, what does the softest part of me actually want to hear, and letting myself be that person who says it to myself, because I know better. I know better than anyone else what I want to hear, what my heart wants to hear. And we can get into such a trap hoping that other people say the things to us that like we deeply really want or need to hear. And so I think such a great gift is to actually give that to yourself, to say the things you need to hear to yourself. Instagram, let me know. My computer fan is like a little aggressive, and I don't think it's bothering the YouTube because I'm using a mic, as you can see here. But let me know that you can hear me on Instagram. I would just love to make sure. Um, okay, Stacy loves this message. Awesome, awesome. I'm getting hearts on Instagram. I assume that means it's working, but okay, let me know, any Instagram folk, if you'd like a personal reading. I'm going to start here with Stacy, but I've got time tonight to be on for at least another half hour or so. I'm in the process of making some new pendulum charts. And before I forget, as sometimes I get wrapped up into these readings and I'll forget to talk about what's going on with my work. Empath Energetics, the next round starts May 19th. So if you would like to work with me to develop your intuition, to deepen your expression of self truly, and your understanding of self and your energy as well, we go through thank you, Anthony. We go through so many different lessons and things in this Empath Energetics program. It's a 4-month journey. I've run it 4 times. This is the 5th time. And after this, I'm actually creating a book, as I was asked to do. And so this will be the last one that I do for a long while. And I'm really excited to welcome in Stacy's in this next round. I've got the scholarship being drawn this Saturday. So we'll see who ends up getting that. So if finances are an issue, but working with me seems really exciting and, reaches your heart or resonates with you, I would suggest you go check that scholarship link and see if you end up getting it. Why not? Okay, I'm gonna hop onto Stacy's here. I feel like I am in my shadow and I'm feeling really sad and I have no idea why. Right. Okay. Yeah, Anthony, a book's gonna be a great adventure. I'm trying not to be sarcastic about that because I often think of myself as the type of writer who pulls her hair out, just out of frustration. I think it's like, I don't know, it's a funny push pull, the writing thing. Music, songwriting is a lot easier for me. Music and songwriting feels like it just flows out of me, and actually book writing it's a way different thing for sure. Okay, welcome, welcome. Anyone else, as people come joining in, let me know if you would like a heart healing reading. If you have any questions about your romance or relationships or any patterns or things like that that show up, or if you just want to know, okay, why is my heart feeling this thing, or what is this, anything. My highest skills are claircognizance and clairsentience, so clear knowing and clear feeling. That's why I like focusing on feelings. Okay. So Stacy, as Stacy also says, loved your reading this morning. I'm doing daily YouTube oracle readings, so that's, I'm sure, what you're referring to, and what I said, it resonated with you. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm really enjoying doing those daily YouTube readings. Actually, I didn't expect that I would love doing that because sometimes consistency and routine are not my fave things. But and Svetlana's here. Great. Oh, and we have a twin flame question. I'm so excited. Okay, great. I will get started on this. I haven't talked twin flame things in like a long minute. Yeah, I'm really interested in that. And Svetlana, I'm not sure if you were here last time I mentioned, but there is an Empath Energetics Scholarship. So if financials are standing in the way of you taking the empath program, then I would recommend you email me or take a look. It's on my website now. It's on the Empath Energetics page. Okay, Stacy, in your shadow, feeling really sad, don't have any idea why. So I actually feel this is a little bit lower than the heart. I actually feel this is in your solar plexus, Stacy. So I am going to pull a whispers of love, but I'm also going to pull an affirmations card because I think maybe part of that message of like the way that you speak to yourself is one of those things that could be really beneficial for you, because I feel this shadow is really, it's more ego, and not shadow actually. I'm not sure why I feel that, but it is. I feel it's more, an ego isn't something necessarily to hate. We all need an ego. It's like a protective identity. You know, I couldn't show up on YouTube without a little bit of ego just to say, I am me. Um, I am Kate. That is ego and identity. But there's something about the way you think about yourself, the way you view yourself, and your ego and identity, and just I think that's actually more what it is. Feeling sad about this sort of and it feels more subconscious, so it might be something you don't even realize you're feeling about yourself, but it's adding a sense of like hopelessness. And I would say it's not even sad, it's like hopeless. It's sort of like a much deeper sad almost feels like situational, right? And depressed feels like long lasting, but hopeless feels like dramatic, or desperate in a sense, and that's what it feels like to me. And yeah, I think this makes a lot of sense actually. It says treasure your loved ones. Look, it's like holding them safe, holding them safe. Very sweet. Treasure your loved ones. It says it is important to love others deeply. And I think when we are focused in a like self-hating way, actually extending light and loving energy towards other people is a way to heal through that, right? Because we are so like, as humans and definitely in this modern world, we're not as community focused. And so a lot of people will just be like, me, me, me. And it's not like you're being selfish. It's not like you're trying to act selfishly. It's just that you are almost lasering in your self reflection just way more than the balance that you would actually crave, like that your heart actually craves. And I've talked about this with you before, I know, which is your heart craves community, and being, and all of us do, but especially yours, Stacy. It craves being around people who are getting together in like a sweet, kind of a lighthearted way. And so I think part of this is just feeling that hopelessness, because it's like you focused on yourself and you're not really getting those positive reflections. So I wonder if you've been a little bit less social or something lately. That could be why. Um, okay, love affirmation. It's not love affirmations. It's just love powered femco something. My mom got me this deck. She actually, you know, my mother is not the deepest mind. She likes to, and I respect her for it. She hangs out in a different kind of realm than me, but she has such great intuition. She just calls it mother's intuition, which I disagree with, but she has really great intuition actually for what card decks work for me, which is a really precious thing. She's got like a superpower of gift giving. Okay, a card for Stacy. And I have Svetlana's question here about twin flames and Instagram. If you would like any readings, if you have any questions about relationships or heart healing or anything, really anything. I do remote viewing for real estate. If anyone has questions about real estate, I think that's a funny side plot of my of my psychic career. Okay. Yeah. Oh, this is so perfect for you, Stacy. It says grace is my power. And that's exactly what I'm feeling, is that you actually deserve to be a little bit more gracious and graceful with yourself, right? Like give yourself a bit of grace. It says, I am graceful, I am charming, I am captivating. And so, because I also pulled this deck, you may feel drawn to making a couple I am statements. That way, you're just making sure that your brain isn't going, off the tracks, and that you actually say, I am, positive things. And put that into your brain, right? Sometimes you actually need to like download new software in your brain. And so if you could download thoughts like, I am charming, I am connective or connected, I am graceful, could be this quotation here. It says, with elegance and quiet confidence, I allow my authentic aura to glow and attract. I really like that for you. Let me know. Oh, Stacy, I love that the I am. I forget to say that to myself at times. Absolutely. And it's easy to forget. We live in a world where, the automatic, it feels like, is to have self-focus. And while that's fine, I mean, holy, I have to have a lot of self-focus. I live alone. I work for myself. I do work with community now, and I live on a property with community, but it's still a fairly quiet kind of life. It's just important to add to that conversation, right? We already have the negative on loop. We're really good at self-critique and analysis so that we can grow. You've got to also boost it up. You got to encourage, you got to, be your own cheerleader. It's important. It's very important. Okay. Svetlana, why am I constantly thinking about V? Is he my twin flame? So I haven't talked about twin flames in a long, long, long time. I first got introduced to the twin flame journey pre-pandemic, pre my ever coming to Scotland, actually, because I remember I met them right before I would have gone to the UK. So it was like 2018, 2017, somewhere in that zone. So it was a long time. Well, for my life, maybe a long time ago. And here's where I've gotten to, because I don't have contact with this person anymore. They drifted in and out for many years. But I think where I got to is this idea that our twin flame and these people that we meet that inspire us to feel that sense of completion, but also that sense of challenge, of growth, almost like it's like we're the same, but we're also the opposites of each other. I'm glad that gave you goosebumps. I get goosebumps a lot, actually, when I do readings. If it's something I got to listen to, I'll usually get a physical sign to wake me up. So yeah, where I've gotten to with the twin flame thing is, I feel like when we meet these divine soul connected partners that challenge us, and potentially there's like drama or chaos to that, but there's also a sense of completion, like we are of each other in a sense. Anthony, oh, thank you. Anthony, I'm like translating from Instagram to YouTube, but Anthony says, my vibes are so uplifting. I'm really feeling uplifted. I've been working hard on that. So thank you. It's intentional. Oh, Patty, it's funny that I mentioned the remote viewing. I never I never mentioned that on these lives. So, okay, I will totally switch gears and talk about that as well. I'm glowing. Oh, you know what? It's because I was at the gym today and I was at the sauna. This glow is because I'm actually treating my body a lot better now that I'm in Scotland. I'm actually making time because I'm not living in a van anymore. So I can have a gym membership. It's great. So Svetlana, sorry, I'm going back to your twin flame thing. Where I've gotten to is basically that I feel like we are, these divine masculine and feminine creatures, right? We are this balance of energies. And so when we meet someone that has this like oppositional energy, what they're doing is waking us up to our own personal journey of unity. And so why we feel this drastic feeling of separation. Oh, hi, Daniel. Why we feel this drastic level of separation with a twin flame is likely because we feel that's the closest to our soul self that we've felt, because they are matching an energy that we actually are craving or needing, or we are actually inherently. And so in a sense, thanks, Daniel. So in a sense, when we meet these twin flames, we kind of have this like, I don't want to call it obsessive, but very much like an attractive pull. We feel very magnetized towards these people, right? And because we are so overtly magnetized, it's like, I can't get you out of my head. I just can't stop thinking of this person. Like the amount of dreams I had about this person for years was like actually frustrating, And that's the sense I get from you, Svetlana. It's like, oh my God, can I stop thinking about this person? Like, is he my twin flame? Because this feels like, whew, so much tie, so much back and forth. And the journey of separating from that pull, that, and it really did, it's quite telepathic. You know, for many years, it would be like they would post something that I had just talked about with a friend. It made no sense how that would have happened. And there was some really, really interesting synchronicities and things. And of course, there's just your feeling, and there's just the way that people occupy mind space. Ultimately, I do think that they are thinking about you, and that that's part of why this telepathic bond is created, is that, you know, you're thinking of someone. It's like you think of you're going to call someone and then they call you first. It's like that type of thing. But what I don't see is any clarity on their end. I don't see any clarity from V as to like what they would do about this. And because of that, if you were to continue indulging the fantasy or this ideal, when in reality, it's actually not self-respective for you, or self-respectful. That's not a word. But it doesn't feel like it's in self-respect to encourage you to like continue like boosting this romantic side. What I would actually do is look at V as a reflection of you. And that will be a lot more empowering. If V is a reflection of you, and then you take what it is you need from that, you say, okay, you know, so an example, my twin flame in a dream came to me and was like begging for forgiveness. And I was like, why would I need that? But I actually really did need to forgive myself. And I also it was like I needed to forgive myself actually for the way that I'd handled myself in relationships, and really not handled myself, just let people kind of come in and out of my life without really standing my ground and actually feeling like a sense of deserving. My middle name is Amanda, and it literally means deserving of love. And I was just so so ignoring my purpose, um, and my understanding, my true understanding of myself. So let me pull a card here for you. I do feel that you're constantly thinking about it because there's something, yeah, there's something about this person that you need to reflect internally. And this card that I got for you is act as if your partner is here. And it's interesting because I was just thinking back, like as I've been talking, I keep thinking back to a specific home that I lived in on a lake. Like it was like, you know, just steps from the beach. And there was this man who told me, not a man I dated, it's just this man who told me if I wanted to invite love into my life, to clear a space in, you know, to have a nightside table for them, to have a space in the dresser for them, to clear space in my life, clear space in my fridge. I literally cleared space in lots of different areas so that if someone wanted to walk into my life, they could set up. And it was really important to me. It was just like an act. And it was also, he also told me to put flowers on my bed. And I did that too. So I put flowers beside my bed, and it was like a beautiful time of actually acting as if they were there and not being in that attached frustration kind of place of wishing that they were already there. Yes, Daniel, you can ask. And it says, I'm doing like love and heart healing, but you know, you can ask anything. I'm pretty open to, I can answer whatever people have at this point. You know me, I'm flexible. So, the rest of your card here, Svetlana, says, whether you have someone in your life or not, act as if they are with you so you will always consider them. And I think that's the thing, is like maybe the and directing your mind on self-love, like maybe V is like a distraction from you actually focusing on what you can have for yourself. But if you were to view V as a reflection of you and what you need and your ultimate, you know, divine masculine, I'm guessing that you would be divine feminine, but divine masculine, it feels like you're gonna be able to actually connect to yourself deeper. And that's what I actually read for you recently, right? Is that this is like a journey, a time for you to actually really soak in more of you to you. So let me know how that resonates. Stacy, yeah, we all need some more self-love. Absolutely. Patty, I see your question. Daniel has a question as well. Is V going to appear again? I actually feel V will appear sometime. I keep hearing October, so I feel like he may show up in message or contact. I feel. I don't feel it's going to be exciting though, so I just got to say that. I'm sorry. I just don't feel like it's going to be exciting. I feel like you might be like, ah. Like, that's not what I wanted. I just, something about it feels like, And it's not on you. It's just, that's just your energies, right? You might actually have done a lot of self-healing work by the time you meet him again, and he might just be really not on the same page. And it might be obvious. That's kind of what it feels like. So it does feel like October. It does feel like there will be a reappearance though. But I just wouldn't set up for much excitement when it comes to that. I try not to answer if some like other people's things. So I will say that's kind of like an ethical thing. I try to just step around that because whether he's in a relationship or not right now, that's the next question, just so Instagram knows, because you can't see the comments. The next question was, is he in a relationship? And I do need to get on to other people's questions as well. I'm mindful that other people have questions here. But I will say the reason that I'm not going to answer that one is because if I were to answer here and publicly, is he in a relationship? My curiosity for you would be, why does that matter if his energy is not actually actively directed towards you right now? And if he's not giving you the love that, you are ready to receive, then why would that be a relevant factor? And I see it as completely irrelevant if someone's going to wait from now until the fall, if that's the information that, we're going on for now. Which, things can change when multiple people are involved. We all make different choices, and that changes how we move on our timelines. But I think if someone was going to wait till fall to message me, I wouldn't have much concern over whether they're dating or anything right now. They're obviously not in a place that's ready for you and the love that you have to give. And so I would see all of these images and thoughts and how you think about this person as a reflection of what you may need, and to really take that seriously and see whether you can get further in your own self-healing and your own heart healing here. It's a big journey, the twin flame journey. I definitely feel that. And I think, it's a topic I could talk about for a long time. There's a lot of misinformation and dramatics out there, and some just really misleading things that keep people very upset for many years, I think. Okay, Patty. So can't pin down where to make home space for home space. So let me know more about your question here. And if you have options, if there's anything you'd like to know, I'm happy to read into spatially what that's saying. Anyone else on Instagram, feel free to ask a question. I'll be here for maybe another 15 minutes or so. And I have Daniel's question as well. Daniel, I like your question as well. Svetlana, I'm sending you so much love. Thank you for receiving my message and, taking that into your heart today. I just think you deserve to up level and upgrade your expectation of love. I really do feel that. And so that's my wish for you fully. Open options, Patty. Completely open. The whole world is yours. It's interesting. I've been thinking about Stacy, that's sweet. I've been thinking a lot about actually soul places, because here I am in Scotland and feeling so at home. And I was just remarking, it's strange because I felt at home enough in Canada, but here feels so different. And there, I think I felt really at home actually on the East Coast in Canada as well, which is funny because I wasn't from there. I was from Ontario. But I've moved around a lot in my life. I've been nomadic and I lived in lots of different places. And I feel like there are places in the world in general for each person on terrible. I don't call it that. I think it's actually beautiful. I think Ontario is so lovely. There's parts of it I already miss, Daniel. It is so lovely, but I can't really beat the Scottish Highlands either. It's pretty epic. But yeah, I think that there's power places basically for each person, and that they would have to do with our ancestry as well as perhaps our past lives, and as well our soul journey and what we're meant to go on in this lifetime. So I will list a few things for you that I feel, and then leave it to you to explore. Or if you want to book a session with me, obviously I could go into it in greater detail if we were sitting on Zoom together. So if anyone would like, by the way, I have books Booking links below. I have links if you want to do any bookings with me. And the Empath Energetics program begins May 19th. There is a scholarship option available. So if finances are a thing for you, then I will pull that May 13th, this Saturday. Otherwise, I just meet with people for a free 15-minute call to see if it actually makes sense for you and your journey right now. Usually it does if someone feels called to book, but sometimes it's not quite right and we find another direction. And I do hypnotherapy work as well, lots of stuff. Anyway, and another thing I don't always mention, but when I come on and do these readings, every now and then you might feel inspired to give a donation, some sort of, financial, just thank you for spending the time or delivering these messages and things. And yeah, it's always nice when that happens. I mean, it's not an urgent thing, but I know I will be shifting on to doing paid readings only at some point. You can find that link down below as well. Okay. So open options for Patty. I'm going to list just a few things that I'm seeing. I did see, I think it's interesting that I talked about the beach and the beach house. I do see that living within an hour from a beach would be really, really beneficial for you. So I would say no more than an hour from some kind of beach that you feel connected to. I actually really am seeing Hawaii many, many times. I'm also feeling somewhere. So again, these are like multiple options so that you can kind of feel out which ones might resonate with you. I also was feeling like definitely like Greece or like kind of like southern Italy. Greece though. Florida. And I guess those would all make sense because they all have beaches nearby, actually. And I'm seeing that you actually are going to be in a somewhat smaller home. So I'm not sure what the size of your current home is, but it just feels like you're going to be in like a small, lovely. I see a lot of like, not white, but like cream. Like I see a lot of open light coming through, and that you'll have like, I see like, it's funny, a really big armchair, like a really big cozy like lazy boy or armchair or something like that. It might not be exactly like that, but just it feels like a really like big one to kind of, you could just almost like lie down on it or sit on it with like a book or just just hanging out, just like with a drink or something. It feels like super, yeah, it feels super open, like you're gonna have a really big, at least one wall of like window. Let me know if there's anything that comes up for you in any of those options. Hawaii, Florida, and Greece. It's like quite a big jump to go over to Greece if you're in the States. I'm not sure where you're located, Patty, either. So, yeah. And I will say, I also felt somewhere like Australia. I'm not sure if you've ever been to Australia, but there's obviously lots of beaches there. But I actually feel if you were in Australia, you'd be a bit more inland. You wouldn't be like right in a city on the beach. It's like you'd be a bit more, just slightly more inland, but you'd obviously still within an hour be able to get to the water. So that's what I feel. And it could just be that you're meant to visit some of those places as well. I also feel like it's not going to be in the next like couple months that you're moving. So I'm not sure what your timeline looks like for moving, but it doesn't feel like the next 2 months or 3 months. Oh, Daniel just saw a blue jay. That's lovely. We don't have blue jays here in Scotland. That's so sad. That's like one difference, right? We don't have cardinals, we don't have blue jays, and our robins look really different, but our robins are actually cuter here. I think they're cuter. Our wood pigeons, they're pretty epic. They're my favorite. They're just like awkward birds. Yeah, Patty, let me know how that resonates with you and anyone else who wishes to ask their question. Get it in now. Daniel, I did go for the loveliest forest bathing on the Royal Recreational Trail. Love that. Yeah, you are worth it. So great. If you could please, if you're on the YouTube right now, if you could just like the video, that would be awesome. And anytime you watch any of my daily YouTube oracles, I would love if you liked the video or left a comment. I know it's not possible every time. I know I am totally a YouTube consumer who, maybe 50% of the time I will actually write a comment. But it does help more people see the channel. I think we're over 200 now, which is so exciting. So exciting. I know I have more people on Instagram, but YouTube, I've really grown it from scratch just with this Oracle work. Whereas Instagram, it was like a bit of people and friends and things, as you go through life. So yeah, it feels very exciting that so many people actually want to see this on YouTube. Okay, I see your other question, Daniel. Did you choose Scotland or did Scotland choose you? I will definitely answer that question. Did I choose Scotland or did Scotland choose me? Maybe a bit of both. Maybe a bit of both. Okay, let me answer your question. What direction, feeling, or content should I explore first in a new series of paintings? Ooh, interesting. I saw your question before, but I didn't reflect on it because I didn't want to get distracted. But this is okay. Feeling. The feeling I'm getting for you is catharsis or cathartic. So if you could feel as though you reach some level of emotional release, catharsis, if it feels, I also feel the word guttural, which I feel like you're going to like, maybe not like, but it's like visceral, guttural catharsis. And a direction I feel also is it's so I'm not sure obviously what the new series of paintings, what this is that you're working on. But I was seeing, the art that is like I'm not sure who it is. It's like it's not like pop art. It's somewhere between pop art and abstract in a sense. And it's like bold colors, I also feel. Perhaps colors that you wouldn't normally actually have used, but then something muted on top. Um, Patty, you live in Ontario. That's where I'm from. Ontario didn't feel like home to me either. And I honestly, I traveled all around it and I lived in lots of different places all around Ontario. And it didn't feel like home either. I do feel like I have multiple home places. And yeah, certainly East Coasty Canada felt very homey to me. Scotland feels like home to me. And perhaps there'll be more places I visit that feel like that, but that's beautiful. Daniel, I love the traction I'm getting too. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, Scotland's been good to me. I have good energy here. I really do feel that. Okay. Let me know if that's resonating with you. Neon climaxes with guttural screams. Yeah, but the guttural screams are from you. It's like the actual process of the art. And that's something that's so important to me. It's like the actual process, the actual like emotionality, the energy which gets infused into your paintings. I'm doing painting as well. We should talk about this, Daniel, because I'm doing painting as well. Now it's a very different time in Kate's life, getting into my art side and actually sticking to it this time. There's other times in life where I've really thought, oh, I'd love to do that, but I don't think anyone cares, or maybe it's not worth it, or it's such a big risk. And me, I've gotten very risk prone. I'm not risk averse, basically, at this point. Um, I see your question, Bob. Okay. Oh, goodness. Yeah. So, Daniel, I think part of the process for you is actually maybe building a bit of a ritual and a bit of like a cue. And music will also be very important. I think music is always important to you, but probably music will be very important with the process. And you might actually weave that in a little bit to the content. So you may have like a song that matches with the painting, even. I'm not sure, but that might happen for you, which would be kind of cool because actually that actually makes a lot of sense because you're doing lots of work with these like bands and things too. So perhaps that. Mm. Okay. And I'll answer your question. Ooh, I like that idea. Yeah, I like that idea too. Well, it's yours, it's yours. It came through me, but it was for you. And did I choose Scotland or did Scotland choose me? So, a bit of both because I was here in 2018 for a shamanic training. And I guess it chose me even in that sense, though, because I was debating between going to Portugal or to Inverness, Scotland, for shamanism. In Portugal, I was going to stay with Muji Baba. Muji, it's Mooji. And at the time, I haven't listened to him actually in a while, but at the time, I really enjoyed his message, his calm way, and I was really just craving a flip and break from the life that I was in. It was just weighing on me. It was, yeah, it was a really, really challenging time, and I knew I was, like, looking for soul freedom. I knew I needed to, like, free myself and also spiritually connect. That's what I was craving, was to separate from the life that I was living and to be able to fully connect more spiritually. And so I was, like, on this phone with my I wasn't on 2 phones. I was on this phone with my mom, and, I was saying, I really can't decide. I know I'm going to go in a few months. I really need to start planning this. I was such a planner at the time, especially like everything I wanted to be way more planned. And what I did was I didn't plan a whole month, I think month and a half of my trip, and I let it all be flexible. And it went so smoothly. It was like the first huge time that I trusted my intuition. And so before I went, I was on the phone with my mom. I was all stressed. I was like, I don't know what I'm going to choose, Portugal or Scotland. Oh, what a tough choice. And then I walked to, I think, the local convenience store. I was probably stressed buying sugar. And I walked to the local convenience store, and the first lights that I was at, this huge moving truck that said Aberdeen, which is where my grandmother lived, apparently. This huge moving truck that said Aberdeen was all across the side. And I went, oh, guess I'm going to Scotland. I'll just make that decision now. It was actually really nice, really easy. And then the whole trip was so beautiful. And when I was in North England at this standing stone circle called Long Meg and her daughters, I stood against Long Meg, this tall stone, and then all her little daughters are around it. I stood against this stone and I heard this distinct whisper and I felt it. And I was like standing in the sun. It was a really magical moment. I was there with these like adoptive Scottish grandmoms of mine who had whisked me off for the day. We were doing all these little day trips together. And it said, don't worry, you'll be back. It was very Highlander vibes, except I stayed exactly there. And it wasn't in the Highlands. Outlander, yeah. Much more Outlander vibes. um, and so it said, don't worry, you'll be back. And so for years, I just kind of held this light hope in my heart that I would come back to Scotland, that I would actually find myself here. And here I am. So, it chose me. And also because half of my ancestry, both of my grandparents, lived in Scotland. One of them was born, and, one of them actually lived in Inverness, I'm pretty sure. And I have family, throughout. I think there was also this ancestral healing connection. So I chose it because Celtic shamanism, but then really it chose me from after that. So there you go. That's your answer. And if you're on YouTube, if you could watch and if you could like the video, or if after this you make sure you like the video, that would be super awesome. Just because I know we're all hanging out. It's nice. You might be headed to Europe next year and you'll reach out if it comes into fruition. And if I'm still here, which, I probably will be. But who knows? Nomadic hearts, right? What are we going to do? I don't know. But yeah, and actually, you know what? Either way, I would want to come even if I'm somewhere else in the world, I would want to come back if you're going to Europe to show you Scotland, because it's super awesome. Okay, Bob, Big Bad Bob, where would you suggest in Scotland for a romantic date to woo a new love interest? I haven't seen all of Scotland, so I might not. Oh my gosh, Patty, your dad was born in Australia. Well, that makes so much sense. Yeah, there's definitely a reason for you to go to Australia. So, whether or not you live there or not, I feel you need to go there for sure in this lifetime. For sure, for sure. Nomad's gonna nomad. Daniel, I love the art of the woo. You know what? I do too. I do too, somewhat begrudgingly sometimes, but okay. Let me intuitively. It's funny. I feel like YouTube is asking me like a variety of questions about heart-based things and art-based things, and Instagram is like asking me actually about locational things, which is really interesting. So it feels like a really funny energy. Okay. I just found, I was looking at Isle of Skye today and things around it, and I just found this bridge where the water underneath it or nearby it is apparently able to give you eternal beauty. And I was like, that sounds like my kind of scene. It's like Tuck Everlasting. If anyone ever saw that movie, I actually love that movie. I read the book too, Tuck Everlasting. Okay. I'm feeling southwest. I'm feeling southwest, which is interesting. Let me even see what's in that area. This is funny. It's funny. Usually I have to, oh, hey, Scott, long time no see. Usually when I do remote viewing and like locational psychic work, I kind of have to actually pull up Google Maps to see like where am I feeling, and I'll get drawn there, which is really interesting. And I haven't been west at all, so I'm not sure why my brain's going here. Oban, and Loch Lomond too. Maybe there's Isle of Isla. That's where all of a lot of the whiskeys that I like, that's where they come from. So I feel like somewhere in there. I feel like the islands are quite a nice romantic spot to take people because, again, me talking about great bodies of water, there's a lot of power that comes with the waters, especially in Scotland. Like, it's really, really, it's so linked, obviously, to all this ocean. There's a lot of power in that. I used to live on a lake, so living on these bigger, the Inverness Bay, it like just goes out to everything. It's really, really wild, actually. Just as like the North Sea, done. I'm seeing swimming. So maybe prepare for cold water because Scotland doesn't have very warm water at all. But yeah, I see maybe like boat or island or something along those lines. So, very interesting question. Very interesting question. Daniel, Tuck Everlasting, memory unlocked. Yeah, I might have to go watch that movie now because I love me some Tuck Everlasting. It's like, that's such a little romantic thing. Yeah, that river sounds perfect. I'll have to find it. She's an empath. Hopefully, will love it. Yeah, if she is like me, Oh, Stacy, that just totally unlocked a dream memory for me. Stacy says dinner on a boat on the river. So Stacy has suggestions for you, Bob. A dinner on a boat on the river. And yeah, I had this dream actually. It's so interesting. It feels strange to share this actually. I had this recurring dream that I would go to an event where there was music on a boat and that I would meet someone there. It's very interesting. And that there would be like there's like lights and like definitely a musician, either like accordion or fiddle type, some sort of like folky type thing. You watched Little Monsters last night. Nice. Oh, that's awesome. Let me know Instagram if there's any more questions. If you have any more questions for me, let me know if that helps, Bob. I don't know if it was super helpful. I just said jump in a cold body of water. I think Stacy's suggestion is probably a lot more suited to wooing. That dream sounds very Venice-y. Yeah, but it's interesting, Daniel. I know where it is. And it feels very much actually like it was in Inverness, which is interesting. And it was funny because it wasn't actually clear to me in the dream whether it was a romantic person that I would meet or whether it was a business or like art type person that I would meet. I couldn't quite actually tell. It wasn't like some, torrid love affair that all started on a boat or something like that. It was you. I don't think so. I don't think you're going to make it. It feels actually, it always felt like to me that it was in the summer. which is interesting. And I was getting it even before I moved to Scotland. So it's a really fascinating thing, these psychic dreams. Who knows? I'll let you all know. I'll come back and I'll talk about whatever that was whenever it happens. Sometimes you get like a dream visual and you think it might be one thing, it's actually something else. So that's why I say I really can't tell what the relation necessarily was. But I remember dinner on a boat with music, some sort of like, yeah, river cruise type thing. So Stacy, spot on, spot on. Bob, I pulled you a card just because I was sitting here with the cards in my hand, so can't help but. And your Whispers of Love card says, be supportive, make a genuine effort to show you care. That's a lovely thing to do. It's a lovely card too. There's actually lots of like fairy energy here as well. And it says, yeah, make a genuine effort to show you care. Okay. Daniel, if you have time, I have another question. How should I go about softening my conflicts with Scorpios? Well, I am a Scorpio rising, so I already take insult to that. Conflicts with Scorpios. But this is more Sun Scorpios, yeah. Yeah. So, and it's difficult because you're a Leo, I think. So, I think it's like checking, yeah, insulted, how unscorpio like. I know, haha. I feel like for you, it's more like checking your Leo Sun Sag Moon. Yeah, well, that'll do it. I feel like it's like checking your need for acceptance. One of the things that Scorpios are really good at scoping out or like sniffing out is when someone is looking for any type of validation, they kind of put their, you know, pinchers out. Hey, Aid. Oh, hi. So that's what I'm feeling is like if you soften like any need for them to validate and encourage you, it'll be like so much easier because the conflict I think comes from like wanting them to give a little more. You know what I mean? And Leo and Sag, it's like you're like very overgiving. It's like I would say that's like a really, really giving combo actually in general. Because it's like you want everyone to have a good time, you want everyone to have fun, and like Scorpios want to be real. They're also pretty dreamy, yeah. And that's the thing. I think too. It's like I guess it's kind of like they want the attention, but they will never ask for it. As a Scorpio rising, you know, but like for them, Scorpio sun, it's sort of like they want it, but they don't want to hold it. And so if you give them a lot of attention, they'll be like, yeah. And if you ask for a lot of validation, they'll be like, ugh. So, you know, it's a difficult thing. And if you just sort of take that out of the equation and allow yourself to have, especially like real or deep conversations, it's like a get real type of energy is what I'm feeling. And that's the thing that they would look to you. I mean, Scorpios sometimes are a bit more guarded. Softly ignore them. I would not suggest ignoring them, but if for you, if outward energy is the only option, then yeah, ignore them. But I don't think it's actually ignoring energy that is needed. But yeah, you'll figure that one out. Okay, Alexandra. And Instagram, let me know if there's any more questions. I'm going to head off in 5 minutes or so, whenever we're wrapped up here. But yeah, I'm actually in the middle of making some little pendulum charts, and I do want to get back to that. It's really fun, and writing some posts and things as well. So if you're on Instagram, you don't follow me on YouTube, just FYI, I'm doing daily YouTube oracle readings. So if you want to listen to more Kate, that's how you find me. Stacy, I have someone in my life who's a Scorpio who is negative. Yeah, and you know what? Scorpios love dark things, right? So I'm an Aries sun, so I brighten everything up, and like I know that I don't come across as like dark, moody, negative. I really try not to be. But my rising, the way that I love being perceived by others is this, and it's the reason that it seems negative is because they like the challenge, they like the taboo, they like dark transformation, they like stuff that's kind of like gritty and like not what everyone, so they kind of like that counterculture kind of idea, right? So they might be negative because they're around a lot of people who say it's important to be positive, and so they kind of get into this moody sort of spot. And moodiness is definitely a part of that. Daniel feels like a virtual time traveler being on both streams, giving me the views. Thanks. And the notification and the engagement. Love it. Thank you. Thank you for supporting this small business. Uh, okay, Alexandra, I want to repeat my question from last time as I asked too late to respond. I can't grasp it why we actually broke up. Do you have the feeling Jess is a narcissist? So, have you watched my video on empaths and narcissists? I have like a really different opinion about narcissistic people. Um, I think it's really, really important to rebalance with yourself. I actually feel really similar energy to Svetlana, which is like, this is a time for you and to actually really feel connected to yourself. And so since you saw the video, you'll know that I said in that video, it's important to see people as their child self. And if you could see Jess as his child self, as his inner child, and to see, oh, you're welcome, Patty, you're welcome. Thank you for being here. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Daniel's back on YouTube. This is so funny. There's a stark difference between those who are narcissistic and those who are diagnosed narcissists. And that's the thing is like, I'm just going to put this out there and argue another idea forward here. What is the point of diagnosing someone as narcissistic? What is the point of that? How does that actually help? Is there medication for narcissism? No, there is not. And so what is the point of a diagnosis, right? Understanding that person who is diagnosed as having narcissistic personality disorder likely has like a lot of things that they are dealing with. It's so packed in and so layered that whoever the practitioner and the diagnoser is, probably feels as though it's not possible to change. And that's just not really, it's not really congruent with healing or with growth and with the way that we view the brain. The brain is very plastic, so it makes no real sense to me that you couldn't somehow open up wiring. It just doesn't make any sense to me. So to me, that's a limiting belief or understanding. Alexandra, I just want to know why we are not together. So that's a very different thing, right? I can't grasp why we broke up. Do you feel like he's a narcissist? Now I want to know why we're not together. So I'm going to actually, this I think will be more powerful, and I promise it's not me just trying to like get out of answering the question. I really think it's an important thing for us to connect to our own intuition and our own senses about things. And so I would ask that you put, and I'm putting my hands on me because I think this is important, that you put your hands on yourself and you ask yourself whether it is in your highest and best interest to be together right now. Because if it is not in your highest and best interest to be together right now, right this moment, then why the breakup actually happened is less relevant right now. I'm going to read archetype cards here for you. And it's not in highest and best alignment. So okay, thank you for taking that minute and reflecting that way. Absolutely not. Right. And that's the thing is, if it's not in your best interest to be together right now, then your focus, actually, you deserve to have it towards yourself. And I'm glad you know that. I feel like he feels very connected to his own thoughts being like the way. And so his receptivity to a relationship might feel closed. That doesn't mean he's narcissistic. It does mean he's limiting himself in relationship. So we have this priest card here. And the priest archetype, the light is that they can channel spiritual energy or that they can have like spiritual commitment. But the shadow is violating trust of your spiritual community and being seduced by your own spiritual role. So being seduced by his own role, his own purpose, his own kind of idea of what he's got going for him in life. I think that's what's getting him caught up, is just he's like he wasn't seeing his life a certain way, and then he started to see it, and then it's almost gone to, it's like he had no confidence and now it's gone to way more. And that's the thing, we kind of balance out. So he may have like a dip and go, oh my gosh, that's really silly. I was just pushing away love, right? It also could be that things felt very chaotic, right? Because I know there's been a lot of that feeling for you as well. And so he could have been feeling like, I just need to separate from this energy. And it could have then just seemed like I'm separating from you. Right. And so to make sure that it's like you wanted to actually separate from that energy as well that was between you. So perhaps there is a blessing in this, in a sense. And then there's also gambler. So I'm not saying he like, gambles all the time and that's like his thing, but um the light of a gambler is a willingness to follow intuition even when others doubt you. And I have a feeling he was acting on his intuition. He's like, something isn't right here. Something isn't right. Whatever that thing is will become clear in time, whether you're meant to be together, whether you're meant to go your separate ways. However, that will make itself clear in time, and only at the time that it makes it clear, which is, I know, so frustrating. But the shadow of gambler is something I wanted to talk to you about. For him, it's relying on luck rather than hard work. And that's the thing. I feel like he was looking for things to be easier. And so, again, you could see that as narcissistic because they don't want to put in the work and they're perhaps missing the connective part of things. Whether or not it's nothing frustrating. Well, I think it is a little frustrating, actually, to be honest. If I were in this, I would feel frustrated by it, that when someone doesn't put like equalized effort in, it can feel challenging, or but that's all our own lesson to learn as well, right? That's like our own path to self-acceptance and self-love. Again, the piece of if it was a valuable connection and they were ready to give energy and they were ready to receive yours, then it wouldn't feel like work. It's been like this all those years and you got used to it. Absolutely. And we chase these patterns. This is part of our own shadow work, right? So, yeah, if, we'll see who gets chosen for this Empath Energetics Scholarship, but if it happens to be you, you're going to get to see a lot about shadow and light work. And, anyone else who chooses to take this Empath Energetics program, you get to see a lot of your own shadows because we use these cards, and you get to see a lot of your own light, and you see the ways that you're holding yourself back are much more complex than we understand. And they're from our whole lives, right? They're from our whole experience that we've been through. And so it's all individual to each of us. And all of the people we run into in life are like these mirrors, these reflections of our own personal work, of where we're at, of where our challenges are. I know for myself, I tend to meet and connect with people in especially in relationship, where it's like challenging a part of myself that needs to come out and needs to thrive and needs to live. And sometimes we have a bumpy road, and sometimes it's like a yellow brick road to that, although the yellow brick road, really, there was like some deadly poppies. There was a lot of bad stuff that happened on that yellow brick road. Stacy, take it, please. We are worth it. And to understand ourselves. Yeah. So, Alexandra, I'll be doing the draw for the Empath Energetics Scholarship on Saturday. I will announce it. Hello, hello. So I will announce who receives the scholarship, and the applications are still open until this Friday. So you can do it all until, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Today's still Wednesday, yeah. And then Saturday, I will pull the Empath Energetics Scholarship winner for this round. And then we'll welcome in the last participants in that last week. And the next round of Empath Energetics starts May 19th. Oh, I'm glad, Alexandra, you've got your scholarship in there. And Stacy, yeah, today's hump day. It's Mercredi, Wednesday, which means it's Mercury day, which means it's a good day for communication. So I will leave this love heart healing reading session with this. If there is something on your heart and something that someone will receive well, go ahead and say it. Go ahead and share it. It's important to speak out the love that's on your heart. We only have one life at a time that we get to live. So speak out the love that's on your heart. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I will be back for a collective energy oracle reading session on Sunday, as per usual. Although last Sunday, this was really silly. Last Sunday, I did it an hour early. I don't know what happened. I was just in some other timeline. I did an hour early, and then I went to Soul Circle, and people were like, "Why are you here? Why are you bugging us an hour early about getting onto Soul Circle?" I had to laugh at myself. It was pretty good. It was pretty good. Okay. And if anyone wants to join the Soul Circle, you need to be a regular client of mine or an Empath Energetics grad. So if Empath Energetics speaks to your heart and you want in on some regular personal oracle sessions, just like this, except we get to sit on Zoom and I actually get to know you one to one, and I actually give much deeper dives and much clearer, more specific readings than I can do here in a public forum. Oh, you're welcome. Hugs, hugs, hugs. You're welcome. Thanks for all the love, YouTube fam and Instagram fam. I'm going to head out for the evening and get back to some of these pendulum charts before I need to go to sleep. It was a big day, big day. Okay. Take care. Bye, everyone. Bye, bye, bye. Love you.